Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Spectral Force, and today I want to talk about Halo 5 and the current state of the Halo community. So, where are we as of the making of this video? Well, we saw the Hero Reborn video documentary. Comic-Con just passed. We know all the stuff about Warzone. We've been learning more about Chief's story as a whole. We still don't know much on the Forerunner side of things, but we're getting there. We've seen a lot of stuff, and it's getting a lot of people excited. Especially the announcement of Season 2 of Hunt the Truth. I know everybody is happy for that. I mean, we kind of knew it was going to happen because of the cliffhanger ending at the end of Season 1. But it's nice to get an official announcement anyway, because we didn't have any official announcement. There was nothing official until recently. So that's good and all. As far as Halo 5 as a whole is shaping out to be, I really see this as a lot of hope for Halo. I see this as the future of Halo. I see this as the return and the rise of Halo. I have a lot of hope, and I know there are a lot of people who don't. And they have a good reason not to be quite as hopeful, and that's because we got hyped for Halo 4, right? We got hyped for Halo 4, and there's just so much hype surrounding the game. And overall, in the long run, it failed to live up to past Halos. It died off too quick because it didn't do as much as previous Halos did. Some of the things that returned weren't done as well. There were a lot of new things that 343 added into the game that kind of tarnished the true Halo experience. So people are wary about that now. There are people who don't want to get hyped. There are people who are very cautious about it, who say they're not going to buy it until like a week later, but these people are diehard Halo fans who are putting on the straight face, putting on the poker face, saying that they're gonna, petition pre-ordering and, hashtag fix, Master Chief Collection and all that. Come on, these people are about to buy the game day one, because day one it's going to come out. Everyone's going to be talking about it. They're going to be talking about how fun it is. And these people who are sitting there saying, I'm going to wait for all the reviews, which is going to be like, a few days. I'm going to wait to see what people think, and then I'm going to buy the game. Okay, first and foremost, waiting a few days isn't going to change anything. During like the first week of a game, you can't trust any fan's judgment because shiny new things always kind of blow your opinions out of proportions. So even if you wait a few days, those reviews you're waiting on, the fan reviews, obviously critic reviews are viewed a little differently than fan reviews. The fan reviews are still going to be first day impressions, they're not going to tell you if the game is going to be bad in the long run or not. So the whole, I'm going to wait a week and then buy the game thing, I don't agree with it, but I understand why people are doing it. But then there are people like me who are really hyped and really hopeful because 343 has been so open about showing us how much good they've been doing with Halo 5 and the direction they're trying to take the game in. And then there's this new breed, or rather not a new breed, it's an old breed, but there's a group of people who you see just on every Halo 5 related video that comes out showing something new or an update or video documentary or new gameplay, of people who say something along the lines of this. Oh, this game looks like it's going to be worse than Halo 4. 343 doesn't understand. We don't want fancy new features. They need to go back to Halo's roots and things like that. Basically, classic fans who think that 343 not going back to classic is ruining the game and that they're going to make the same mistake as Halo 4. I'd like to clarify something for anyone who has that mentality. New features is not what killed off Halo 4. Bad features is what killed off Halo 4. As in kill streaks, custom loadouts, perks, removing descope. That's just a short list of some of the things they added that really didn't make any sense, right? And they didn't really do much to properly balance sprint. As opposed to Halo 5, where custom loadouts are gone. Do you see custom loadouts anywhere? Warzone is just one specific section of the game, and it's big teams, so it's not meant to be overly competitive anyway. It's going to be more of a casual game type, just like Big Team Battle. Big Team Battle isn't overly competitive, and neither will Warzone be. So the fact that you get to swap around loadouts with, the leveling system and the rec system, that's completely fine. People need to calm down about that. There are very few people, but still people who are kind of going, oh man, custom loadouts all over again. It's over. Halo 4 2.0. No, it's within the specific section of the game, which is how it should have been in Halo 4. Specific sections and game types that have the custom loadouts. And even then, the game just shouldn't have had them at all anyway, but, still. The point is, people need to understand that 343 saw their mistakes in Halo 4, and they have already taken the steps to make sure those terrible features don't come back. D-Scope has returned. Now, don't be fooled by the aiming down sights. It functions just like the classic Halo scope, the scope from every Halo game except for Halo 4. So, D-Scope is back. In the arena game types, which is the competitive part of the game, there's no custom loadouts, right? There's no ordnance, there's no perks, there's no armor abilities or any other extra abilities that you're not sure who has them or who has what. Everyone is given the same set of abilities to utilize, and everyone has to fight for the weapons that are on the map. If that's not going back to the roots, I don't know what is. Now, some people just see things like climbing and the boost and everything, and they just immediately see things that aren't classic, and then they hate it. And that annoys me so much, because I had so much fun playing the beta. It wasn't perfect, but overall, it was fairly well balanced for a beta that was like a year before the launch of the game. I thought it was pretty well balanced overall. There was nothing that stood out as super unbalanced. Like, remember when Halo 4 launched and DMR Bolt Shot was the ultimate combo that everyone would use? Yeah, there was nothing super OP like that in the Halo 5 beta. And since then, they've shared with us the updates. They've listened to us in surveys. I've been taking part in these surveys regarding Halo 5. And they ask so many in-depth questions about the Halo experience and what we prefer. They've even asked about, our thoughts on classic versus new features and all that, and sprint versus no sprint. They want to know what we think, and they've been taking these opinions and putting them into changes they make in the game. I don't understand how some people can still just look at everything new and immediately say, nope, this is terrible, And that's a problem, because there's too many of these people. It's not like one troll comment. Like, there's always multiple comments of people just going, oh, this game, they don't get it. They're making the same mistakes. And I really don't think they are. They've learned. They've obviously learned. You can see it. They've been open. They've told us the ups and they've told us the downs, right? They told us about the split screen. They told us about the elites. That's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. And to some people, it's unforgivable. Now, not having playable elites is definitely not game breaking, right? If someone's a Halo fan with or without playable elites, they're gonna buy the game, right? I mean, they probably bought Halo 4, which they were probably also disappointed by, but still, they're gonna buy the game. Now, the no split screen thing is pretty rough. I'd say it's pretty rough, because I love split screening. I do it with my friends. Kind of sucks, but I mean, who knows, maybe down the line they'll figure out a way to add in a, 30 FPS mode with split screen, so it's less stressful for the hardware to deal with, which I assume it's a hardware issue where, because it's built up from the ground on 60 frames per second and all that, they gave an explanation that didn't get very technical, but it touched base a little bit on how they wanted this. Obviously, they wanted this. This is my second point that I took too long to get to, I'm sorry. Second point that I wanted to get to. People act as though 343 wants to leave out features. For every bad thing we've heard about Halo 5, people act like that's what 343 wants. And I know that that's not the case. I mean, obviously, people act as though they understand the development process. This is the next big problem. Whenever a developer has to make sacrifices such as, we're not doing elites so we can focus on the Spartan gameplay and make that top notch, people act as though the developers want to leave out things. Do you honestly think 343 wanted to leave out split screen? That's how a lot of people are treating it. They're just like, bring split screen back. It never became a thing because they couldn't get it to function properly within their game. There's nothing to bring back. Now, if they add it in later, like I said earlier, that'd be awesome, but People need to understand this. And same with elites. They're like, oh, elites, man, 343 hates us. They don't want us to play anything. The worst thing I've heard about the split screen, oh god, this was like a terrible comment. Like, oh, it's a money scam. They want us to buy multiple Xbox Ones and a bunch of TVs and put them in the same room. What? That doesn't make any sense. That's not even a cash grab. That's not even logical. You honestly think they leave out split screen so you're gonna buy 4 Xboxes? No. That's not even a cash grab because it makes no sense. People act like they understand. Things get cut from the game. Now, Firefight not returning is another kind of disappointing thing, which the gap may be filled a little bit with Warzone. But you know what's funny? I actually barely ever even played Firefight, to be honest. But that's not the point. I mean, it sucks when things get left out. And I understand that, but people need to stop acting as though 343 is doing this because they hate us and because they want us to buy 4 Xboxes and because they're just dumb. No, they make sacrifices because they have to. Developers have to allocate resources and time. There is a deadline. When you have a deadline to meet, you have to decide on what to work on because you don't want to have half-baked features in the final game. So if they don't think they're going to be able to make something work or they just won't have time for it, then they will move that time and effort elsewhere so that a different part of the game can be top-notch and high quality. That is how development work. They have to determine what's best in order to meet the deadline, right? People talk about, oh, well, if you need more time, just delay the game. Well, that works in some cases, but if you've ever had a deadline on anything, whether it be an assignment in school or something for a job, that's not always an option. At some point, someone has to put their foot down and say, this needs to be finished by then. What are we going to do to finish that? And if that means features have to be cut because they'll take too much time and effort that needs to be put elsewhere, then it's going to happen. And it really saddens me to see that a lot of people on the internet, yes, I know it's the internet, and some of these people are probably trolling, but I know there's some people who are serious, who honestly think they understand development, specifically game development. They think they understand the process, and so they make these demands and these accusations without really knowing how the process works. And it's really unfortunate, but you know, that's the reality of the current state of the community. You have people who are just hating on Halo 5 because it's new and not classic. Don't get me wrong, my favorite multiplayer, competitive online multiplayer, is Halo 3. But even I am not blind enough to simply hate Halo 5 because Sprint stayed in the game, because they have new features. I love the balance for Sprint. I'll say that right now. I love how they balance Sprint in this game. You want to keep sprinting, your shields are never coming back. You will get picked off because you can't run forever, and when you stop, you have to wait for those shields longer than you normally would, like twice as long. So I really respect the effort they put into balancing the game. I really like what they're doing, and it's unfortunate that there are a lot of people who just won't accept anything new and will be openly hateful for no reason. You know, they say they're not going to buy the game, but these people are going to buy the game. They're going to buy the game. And, you know, it's just sad to see this community kind of torn up about something that should be a good time. You know, this is a good moment for Halo. This is the rise of Halo. I understand 343 can't be fully trusted after the Master Chief Collection. I understand why people still hate them. But Halo 5 has so much promise, and this is the future of Halo. This is the hope for Halo, and I wish more people would see that. We've seen the game, we've played the game, they've been open about the changes and improvements they've been making. They've taken back some of the terrible things they added in Halo 4. Don't get me wrong, I had fun playing Halo 4 with my friends, but the experience just didn't last. And I really think Halo 5 is going to make up for that. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of my first installment to my new series, Deliberating Halo. Stick around for future entries. If you like, rate, comment, subscribe if you're interested. And ladies and gentlemen, I've been the Spectral Force. Thanks for listening.